The Minnesota Timberwolves over the last couple years have been an awful organization, but currently in 2020, they have a bright future with a young core around Karl-Anthony Towns, D'Angelo Russell, Anthony Edwards, Malik Beasley, and several other young players. And today we're going to be looking at the expectations for the young Minnesota Timberwolves team. Now before we get started, it would be greatly appreciated if you subscribe to the channel. Here on the Mix channel, we're going to be doing every NBA team and explaining and exploring their expectations for the 2020-2021 season. So if you're interested in that and want to join the squad, then hit that subscribe button. Also like the video while also hitting the bell so you never miss an upload. Like I said, leave a like because it only takes 1 second and it makes a really big difference. Now, when looking at about the Minnesota Timberwolves, let's first look at their offseason moves. They first selected Anthony Edwards #1 overall. Now, in my opinion, this was the logical pick, and he has two-way potential, but he must be motivated for basketball. I still think this is a good decision because I think, can be a superstar, but hopefully he needs to get that motor through, but it was the more logical pick than LaMelo Ball, who is probably gonna be too ball dominant and doesn't fit with their young star D'Angelo Russell. They then re-signed Malik Beasley to a 4-year, $60 million deal. He had some off-the-court issues, but he still played very well in the limited stretch after the trade deadline. He averaged consistent 20 points a game on great efficiency in his time with Minnesota and can be a potential scoring six-man / the starting small forward. They also re-signed Juan Hernangomez to a 3-year, $21 million deal. He was also in the deal with Malik Beasley. He's a solid forward and can do a little bit of everything. Then they traded the 17th pick, a second, and James Johnson for Ricky Rubio and the 28th pick. They selected Jaden McDaniels there. And I think that Ricky Rubio definitely helps their depth. He has a good relationship with the management because he got drafted there, and with Karl-Anthony Towns because he played with him. And I think personally the Thunder could have got a bit more for Rubio, but the Timberwolves are fine with that. And I think McDaniels can be a steal because he was a potential lottery pick before the season started, but he is a 6'10" power forward, only 200 pounds. And I think that this low in the draft, this can be really good value. They then traded Matisse Luzort and a Detroit second-round pick for the 23rd pick, where they selected Leandro Barbosa. He will be going overseas. He is a 6'7" guard and is a good playmaker and shooter who this year he'll be overseas, like I said, but in a couple years he'll come back in the NBA. So I think that these moves are pretty good, and I think they are a little bit they are leaning a little bit on the winner side for the offseason because I think Edwards is a good pick. Re-signing Malik Beasley, Juan Hernangomez, and picking up people like Ricky Rubio, Jaden McDaniels, and Leandro Barbosa is pretty good value. And then looking at the current lineup right now, if there's no trades, we have D'Angelo Russell, Anthony Edwards, Malik Beasley, Juan Hernangomez, and Karl-Anthony Towns, with Jarrett Culver, Josh Okogie, Ricky Rubio, and Jaden McDaniels off the bench. And I think that's a pretty good team, but still, the Western Conference is so good, and I think they're definitely going to have to improve. Now, some potential moves they need is an upgrade at the 4 with Juan Hernangomez. The rest of the lineup with Russell, Edwards, Beasley, and Cat looks beautiful. But when you just throw in Juan Hernangomez, it just throws everything off. And then they also need some defense because Russell isn't a good defender. Edwards might be a bad defender. Beasley isn't a very, very good defender. Cat isn't a good defender. And I think that this getting a 4 and defense can push them over the top. If you watched my video where I did a mock draft but every pick is traded, I exercised the fact of trading the first pick down to the 6th pick and DeAndre Hunter. I thought that was a perfect deal for both sides because the Hawks will get Anthony Edwards and they're very interested in him, and then Cat get Hunter, who's a really good 3-and-D player who fits pretty well and can still draft a Patrick Williams / on draft night it would be probably more like an Obi Toppin pick. And I think that's really good value. But now, since they didn't do that, I think that they can further forward, they can get someone like Aaron Gordon, Thaddeus Young, or Julius Randle. And because they all make a lot of money, the trade will have to be centered around Ricky Rubio. I know he's getting flipped a bunch of times, but he needs them for the salary. And I think they're willing to move on of Jarrett Culver. I've seen the management admit that they made a big mistake selecting Culver, and I think they're gonna give up. I don't think he fits at all. I think he needs already in 1 year, I think he needs a new environment, because I don't think he didn't have the best rookie season. His efficiencies were awful. He shot like 50% from the free throw. That's not acceptable. But picking up someone like Aaron Gordon, who's a versatile player, now I'm not sure if the Magic would do that, but maybe, because Jarrett Culver still has a lot of potential. I don't think he's gonna blossom in Minnesota. And then the Magic also pick up Ricky Rubio to mentor Cole Anthony and Markelle Fultz, and we know that development having a leader, a vet, can be very beneficial, as we saw with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander being taught by Chris Paul and much other incidents. There, Culver can probably start at the 3, with John Isaac being out the whole season, and then soon they can run a lineup of Cole Anthony / Markelle Fultz. I guess at the 2, I guess Evan Fournier, Jarrett Culver, John Isaac, Nikola Vucevic / Mo Bamba. And I think that in the Eastern Conference, that might do some good stuff, especially if Culver, Anthony, and Bamba are actually develop. But I think for the Timberwolves, I think Aaron Gordon is a perfect fit alongside Cat. He can stretch the floor. He's very athletic, can guard the perimeter and the post, and the interior, basically. So I think he's a really good fit, because defenses need him. Having a stretch player can also be very beneficial. And they just fill the hole in the 4, replacing Juan Hernan-Gomez. And Culver was already coming off the bench. And then if they can't pick up Aaron Gordon, they can also pick up like a Julius Randle. And I know a lot of people hate Julius Randle because of his time with the Knicks, but Julius Randle is not a first option. I'm sure everyone can agree with that. And he's not meant to be a first option. He can put up still like 16 and 8 on the Timberwolves, being the 3rd / 4th option if Edwards is the 3rd option. And I think he thrives as being not the main guy like we saw in New Orleans, where Jrue Holiday was the best player basically. And he just took a backseat to him, and he was totally fine with that. He still put up 20 and 10 with that whole Anthony Davis thing. And then if they can't get any of them, they can pick up Thaddeus Young, who is a versatile player. And sure, he might be a little bit overpaid at $12 million a year, but he's still, every team would like that versatility, and I'm sure Minnesota would really like that. Now, also in the expectation series, we're going to be looking at their floor and ceiling, and I think their ceiling is I think the ceiling is a 9th seed. I think the ceiling is a 10 seed. I'm sorry, Minnesota fans, but okay, let's think about it. You have the Lakers, Clippers, Nuggets, Jazz, Mavericks, most likely Warriors, Rockets, and Portland. That's 8 teams already. Now the Rockets and Warriors might be out, but you still have teams like the Suns, the Pelicans, the Grizzlies, and then you throw in the Timberwolves, who are not superior to a team like the Grizzlies or the Pelicans. And then there's also like the Kings, and I know the Thunder will be the worst team in the West. And I think that's not very good for Minnesota, because the West is just so competitive, and I don't think this core can really push them over the top. And then I think their floor is the 14th seed, and I can say it's rather the 14th or 13th because Sacramento isn't doing very well. I think Thunder, like I said, will be the worst team in the league. And then I think it's probably going to be the Kings or Timberwolves at the 14 or 13. Those 8 teams I said. Then you have at number 9 the Suns, number 10 the Pelicans, number 11 the Grizzlies. And I think that the Timberwolves, no matter how talented they are, their defense isn't good enough to beat teams like the Pelicans and the Grizzlies. So I think that their floor is the 14th seed again. Now they don't have their pick top 3 protected. So that's going to be a very interesting factor because they can't tank in this loaded draft unless they get some lottery luck. And then I don't think they're talented enough to win these many games. So it's going to be very interesting for how Minnesota does in 2020-21 Minnesota 2020-2021 season. So yeah, that's going to be the video, and I thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to subscribe, like, comment your thoughts about Minnesota and if they will make the playoffs, and I'll see you all next time.